This is NFA Talk, the show that talks about guns and gun rights, keeping you up to date with what's currently going on, from the newest guns, promotions, and events, plus how we're lobbying for your rights.
All right, we're back. So is Facebook trying to silence us? Hi, I'm Jordan Vandenhoff. Joining me tonight is Rick Igercich. And the answer to that question is yes, they are. I don't know if many of you have noticed, but our Facebook closed group about 2 weeks ago got shut down. Why did it get shut down? Community standards. Rick, what do you think about this?
Well, I don't know what they mean by community standards. I think we've kept our Facebook group and our pages pretty clean and to their standards, but apparently it doesn't take much to get censored these days, Jordan.
Well, it is. It's really interesting because they do have community guidelines, and firearms is on there, and it's the regulation of sales, and there's manufacturing and so forth. And when you look at some of the posts that Facebook would kick back to the administrators and the mods and say, hey, this is not acceptable, and you look at it and it's Bob the farmer out there saying, hey, he got this great deal on a Remington shotgun, and he paid $300-400 for it, and he's super excited. And then Facebook says, no, hey, wait a minute, you're trying to sell, and they kick it out. We go through the appeal process, and within 5 minutes they say, no, it still doesn't meet our community standards. I don't even think it's a real person we're talking to. It's an AI system, and it kicks it back out, and then we move on to the next problem. Somebody else has posted that something similar, and eventually Facebook says, okay, you guys are out of control. We're gonna knock you out and shut you down. We did try.
Honestly, though, the writing's been on the wall for a long time, George. We've been getting warnings and stuff, and everybody's been watching the news and seeing what's going on in the States and in Canada with other groups and even past presidents and stuff like that. And it just seems to be the way that it's Facebook's way or no way. So right now we're in a different position. Our closed group is gone, but Jordan will tell you what we did to follow up with that.
So absolutely. So it is their playground, and it's their rules. So we have to try to abide by them. But what we did was we just built another group. We built it back better. We're going to get I've instructed our mods to get maybe a little bit stricter. Try to reach out to these people posting these and explain to them this situation, because we're getting a lot of emails and messages coming to us and saying, hey, like, why are you censoring us? Why are you not allowing us to post it? And really, it's not us. Like, we want you to post that. We love people sharing, I got a deal at this store. I picked up this. It's a great gun. I use it for coyote hunting. I use it for target shooting. Unfortunately, when it hits that community guidelines, that's another knock for us, and X amount of knocks, and away we go. So what do we do? We build back another group. We get a little bit more stricter with how posts come in. I don't know if we're going to have to go back to the old days where we use code words for things. It's unreal, the censorship that we're getting from this company, right? And it's not just Facebook. Like, we're looking at Twitter gets hit. Instagram is definitely, it's in the Facebook family. So, the company is based out of California. And if you know the gun laws and the attitude towards guns in California, you can understand why we're also facing this too, right?
Yeah. And it's just not social media. The government is trying to censor us too. We've put some stuff out there that is our stuff, and if they don't like it, they proceed to try to censor it. I don't know where freedom of speech has gone to in this country, but there doesn't seem to be any left right now.
No, absolutely not. So Rick, where do you think this is going? Where do you think this is going to go with the new censorship bill and the new internet bill that the government didn't pass during the last parliament, but they said they were going to reintroduce it in this session?
Well, I'm sure they're gonna reintroduce it, and where it's going to go, that's a very good question. How far can they go to keep us quiet? I think the fact that we're a voice out there is disconcerting to them, and they'll do whatever it takes to keep us down, keep us quiet. They don't want our word to get out, but we at the NFA are going to make sure our word gets out. one way or
Absolutely.
the other. We're going to find new platforms. Jordan, he's our social media guy, and we've got different platforms, and we're working on that right now. And maybe Jordan can enlighten you folks on what we've got going out there with different platforms and stuff.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming in. Forget Facebook, forget Twitter. NFA needs to get on Getter. That's one of the options we're looking for. But right now, it's more American based. We're trying to get into the Canadian base. We do have a MeWe account. We do have a Gab account. So if you want to head on to those platforms, Canada's National Farms Association, all our stuff there is identical to what's on Facebook. It's a carbon copy, just on a platform that's really not going to censor us. It seems that the Facebook is getting a little bit ahead of what the government eventually wants to happen here in Canada, right? So
Exactly, and the harder they push us, the harder we're going to push back, because that's what we do at the NFA. We're not going to stand for this. We're going to get our word out there one way or the other. If we have to go, I hate to say it, if we have to deliver it by hand, we're going to get our word out there, and we're going to let people know what's going on and what's going on with your rights and freedoms. Because if people don't know what's going on, it's hard to make a change. And I think that's part of the reasoning behind their madness is censor us, shut us down. Facebook is one, but even as far as the government goes, and I think we're a very active voice out there, and we need to, and they realize that, and that's why a lot of this stuff is going on.
absolutely. And as far as being active, we've got radio ads out there. We've just recently, actually, it's been a couple months now. We had our ads on Wild TV, on Sportsman.net, what the NFA is doing, a presentation of what we've been doing over the last little while. Which was really great. It was well received. The radio ads were great. During the election, we had many billboards, electronic billboards all over the country. So we do rely on social media, but we have other avenues. Of course, if you have not gone over to our website, nfa.ca, sign up for our newsletter. We send out a daily email. And Rick, you get the emails, I get the emails, and it's easy. It's everything about guns all in one location. You get it once a day. Sometimes there's stuff in there that I've missed from other websites, and it's all compiled into one nice package. Of course, it's got our stuff in there as well. And if you haven't signed up for that, go over there, sign up for it, and get our information. If the way things are going, and with the government and what they're planning on doing, this might be our only means of getting out to our membership and getting out to the people that want to find out what we're doing and what's going on in the world of firearms.
Yeah, it's kind of they look at us as a threat for them to not get reelected, and that's why they're coming down on us. It's the reason they're doing it is because they see us as a threat. I don't know if that's a cap or a feather in our hat or not, but you know what? They know we're here, and they know we're pushing, and we're going to keep on pushing.
Absolutely. So, unfortunately, Charles was not able to join us tonight. I guess he's having some internet technical difficulties. But I was actually really interested in talking with Charles about the upcoming handgun ban and what's been going on in the news with Alberta looking to take the government to court about the handgun ban. Our president basically put out a poster on social media telling all the other provinces, "Hey, take note. Let's jump on board and let's get on board this." Rick, do you got any comments on that?
This. I think this handgun ban, it's the classic liberal go-to. When they're feeling heat, whether it's an election or something they did, it seems like the firearms owners across Canada are the ones that take the heat, and it's their go-to thing. I have no doubt that Liberals are going to try to push a firearms ban. They're holding the proverbial carrot in front of the premier's noses. When it comes to that, they hold the money out there, and out of the premiers, Quebec is the only one I think that is going with them so far. But I think we're going to be seeing some handgun bans. It's inevitable. It's the road they decided to take, and they're not going to stop.
Right. So Rick, how much was it? I forget. Was it $1 million per no, it was $1 billion per province, or
Yeah,
was it $1 million per province? I can't remember.
yeah. I don't know the exact numbers on that either, Jordan, but I know it was a substantial amount,
It's
and
really going to make those. It's really going to make those premiers think about it, right?
yeah, exactly. I think in Ontario we're okay here with Ford, but who knows? It just it depends what the provincial economy looks like too. They might need that. They might need that financial input. But then again, Alberta, people are struggling out there, and they decided they're not interested in it. So you know what? That's a really good sign, and I just hope it continues across the rest of the country like that.
Absolutely. So somebody in the chat said 1 billion per province. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Username 1AB. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's great. I hope Alberta takes the lead on this. I hope the other provinces say, hey, yeah, it's time to make a stand, right? A handgun ban at a provincial level. Like, how is this going to work?
Well, they're talking a handgun ban, then they're talking central storage, and how's that going to work? If all our restricted and prohibited firearms are going to be in one location, talk about a target, and who's going to pay for this? They've got all these brilliant ideas, but they don't think anything out. It's in my opinion, it's a bunch of lawyers and politicians trying to make rules for the people that actually know what's going on.
Yeah, a bunch of people making rules that have no idea and have no idea about firearms, right? Same thing with central storage. It's a one-stop shop for criminals.
Exactly.
They break in there and congratulations, you got whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
That's a scary thought. What else do we got here? We got the May 1st, May 1st, 2022 is coming up shortly too, and
really quick, guys,
and that's gonna be a problem, right? So the government's been very quiet. We haven't heard much from IBM. We know they're kind of following the same buyback guidelines as Australia and New Zealand, but I mean, still nothing has really been pushed out there. No timeline's been pushed out there. The court cases are still pending. They're still moving forward. With the Cassie Premack versus Canada case, we're watching that very closely. And I mean, is the government going to give us an extension on the amnesty? That's still to be determined, right? So April 30th, there's going to be a lot of people, if they don't give us that amnesty, there's going to be a lot of people sweating on April 30th, right? What do I do? Do I run down, turn my guns in? What do we do?
I'm getting calls and emails every day about that. And it's people are concerned. People don't know what to do. People don't know what's going to happen to them if they don't turn their firearms in. People are they're asking me, is there going to be a grandfathering? Is there going to be any kind of buyback? You know what? We don't know, because the government hasn't made a statement either way. They just they put this thing into place. They put this amnesty in place, and now it's kind of seems like it's running out. There's a dead end. Where does everybody go? I don't know the numbers. I think there's 160 firearms turned in since the amnesty or something. Jared, what was the number?
Yeah. You're absolutely right. There's only been 160 that have been turned in for either surrendered or deactivated. I believe it was 160. This whole we're gonna ban assault style firearms looked really good on the election resume, and who knows where they're gonna go with this, right? The same with C71. Have they finished C71 yet? No, there's still a lot of portions of that bill that have not been implemented yet, and and that lies another thing. Like, now we're getting into we're moving into the OIC, and we still have C71 stuff that is still pending, right? Rick, correct me if I'm wrong. It's you don't have to register your non-restricted or get that transfer code for the non-restricted just yet, right?
As of a couple days ago, the gun shops have got absolutely no notice of what to do. There's nothing been put into place. So right now it's the same as it was. You just produce a PAL and buy a firearm, a non-restricted firearm. I'm almost people I'm talking to. I'm encouraging them to go out and buy some guns. They're gonna start logging guns pretty soon. And if you want something and you don't want to leave a big paper trail behind it, it's legal for us to go out and buy a firearm right now without registering it. I know I have. Jordan has. And
Yeah, I mean, C71 came out and my wallet sure took a hit, right? I went out and I basically said, okay, these are the non-restricted firearms that I want, and I don't want the government to know about, right?
Yeah.
Not because I'm doing something wrong with them. It's none of their business. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I went through all the red tape. I don't need them coming to my house saying, hey, where's this Remington 870 or this Remington 1100 or many of the different firearms that I purchased. And so then we moved on to, then they started talking about handguns. Well, now my handgun collection has got significantly bigger as well, right? I do it in protest. Let's show the government by numbers. They see the stats out there. They see how many registered firearms there are out there, so they know, right? And that's my way of politely protesting.
I see that noob from next door commented on, can we have New Zealand suppressor laws, as in they're not regulated at all? Why does our government only copy the terrible laws from other countries? Well, you know what? There's another good example: suppressor laws. And I've thought about this. I've talked to a lot of people about this. There's one of the biggest safety items out there. You know what? I've been shooting guns for a long time, and my hearing is probably 20 or 30% shot. That's why I have these headphones on tonight. But as far as it's the classic liberal approach. A suppressor's a silencer. Well, you know what? Anybody that's ever shot suppressed firearms knows that it doesn't silence anything. It quiets stuff down and it takes that sharp crack away so it doesn't damage your ears as bad. And you know what? You still have to wear ear pro, whether you're shooting a suppressor or not. So that's just another ridiculous law that the liberals put in place over the years.
Absolutely. Like the comment that came in there, it's really what it is it's another form of ear protection, right? Suppressors are only really they lower 10-15 decibels, just enough so you're not doing extreme damage. When I shoot in the States, we go down to Las Vegas. I go down to Kentucky when they have the Knob Creek shoots, which it saddens me that they finish those for good. Yeah. I've shot many suppressed firearms, and I'll tell you what, I still put ears on. I still put my headset on. It reduces it even more. I don't want to end up another 20 years or 30 years with hearing aids and scrambling, right? So it's nice. And I don't understand why this government cannot understand that, hey, this is a safety thing. Not only that, but I mean, we have many clubs out there that are struggling because they're close to communities, and now the communities are starting to complain. The gun range is making too much noise violation. It's like the guy that picks up and moves right beside a racetrack and then calls calls him up and says, hey, can you tone it down?
What the irony of the whole thing is, the government is trying to suppress us on social media and other outlets, but they won't let us suppress our firearms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I see our PEI director, Donald, posted a comment on there. Trudeau is shooting for the stars and aiming for the moon. He'll ban as many guns as possible to see what sticks. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. There's firearms being added to the OIC weekly. It's probably, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm sure it's only a few people sitting in a room flipping through catalogs and gun digests and whatever they have, and looking, well, geez, that one looks scary. Let's put this one on the list. And that's
right.
That's I think where we're going, and I think it's gonna till we change this government and get a party in there that appreciates us and works for us. That's the only way out of this. This is the only way I can see out of this, guys.
Absolutely. So it looks like Charles might have got his network sorted out. I'm going to try bringing him on. Let's hope that the network issue is sorted out. Charles, are you there?
Yes. Welcome to the world of COVID-19.
Oh, there you go. You said a buzzword. Yeah. Here we go. Now we're getting flagged. Right?
Yeah,
Facebook has flagged us.
Yeah.
So everything's getting flagged, right? Red flag this, red flag that.
Right. So Charles, have you been able to follow us, or do you know where we're at? We're talking about the handgun ban, and maybe you wanna chime in on that.
Well, Trudeau's made it perfectly clear that his intent. It was in the throne speech, and of course, it was in the letter to Marco as well too. It was right there. He's got marching orders, so there's no doubt they're going to try to do this. But if we know anything about Trudeau now, he's notorious for saying stuff, not following through, and then he's called on it, and then he takes accolades for things that he didn't do. So, yeah, this might raise its ugly head that way. And could he go an OIC route again? Yes, he could. But in the meantime, I think we should make it as problematic as possible for him. And I guess the best way to do that is for everybody out there to buy a handgun. I mean,
I was talking about that earlier. The protest, right?
I mean, last time we talked about the AR-15 thing, we had a great hand in promoting that, and Bill Blair was the AR-15 salesman of the year. Let's make Marco the handgun salesman of the year.
Yeah,
there we go. Right. So Charles, you've been doing quite a few lobbies. What's is there any talk of the handgun ban? Like, what reaction are you getting when you talk about the handgun ban?
You know what, the MPs know that it's out there,
Right.
But I can tell you right now that Parliament is very focused on COVID-19 right now. It's a huge distraction for the Liberals, everybody. And they seem to be navel gazing on their own constituencies right now. So, there's things that pop up, but the gun thing seems to have taken a back burner. Okay, but that doesn't mean it won't just crop up when they want to throw something into the fray and divert your attention from something that they're doing to us. That's the modus operandi of the Liberals. So,
exactly.
And that's that's been going on for decades now, right? So.
Yeah.
So you're getting the feeling that it's just going to be quiet, and then all of a sudden, bam, we're going to get into they're going to jump right into it.
Well, typically that's the way it works, right? So there'll be another mass casualty incident, right? Maybe with a handgun. That'll be their cue. Don't worry, they already have something ready to pull the trigger on. It's just a matter of finding the right political opportunity or the right incident, to let her go. Right. I mean, that's what happened last time. That's always what they do. So, I mean, we know that, liberal gun control is not crime control. And inevitably there'll be another, mass casualty event with whatever. Right. But basically, it's a testament to the liberals' failure to arrest, rising criminal violence out there with these people out there who are misusing their, illegal and legal firearms. Right. So, the whole regiment of needs to be reassessed, and in terms of efficacy. And we talked about this before the election. And Aaron O'Toole was basically all over that at one point. That he recognized that public safety wasn't being served by the current gun control regiment, and it needed to have a review. We haven't had a review for a long time. Most legislation has a sunset thing where after 5 years you have to automatically review it. They haven't done that with the Firearms Act.
Right. Yeah. Right. But I mean, during the campaign, what happened? I mean, Mr. O'Toole took a different direction, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And you're going to find out what happens. Well, we may not. I know Mr. Cummings, he's been commissioned by Aaron actually to do a performance assessment of, the election by his campaign, Aaron's campaign. And hopefully it's going to be a revealing thing. I'm worried that if it is damning, that thing will never see the light of day. Certainly not publicly. I'd be surprised if caucus even sees it. So, it is what it is, right? So I don't know. We already know what happened, right? So he told us.
We at the NFA got blindsided, basically.
Everybody did.
Absolutely. Like, he the flip flop. I mean, let's say it, the elephant in the room. He flip flopped, right?
Yeah.
It took us by shock. We put a huge campaign out. We interviewed every party, and we fairly assessed every party, and we felt that at that time, Mr. O'Toole was with us. He saw the direction that the NFA wanted to go, fair and just for firearms owners. And you wake up in the morning and it's like you see him. I think he was in Vancouver in front of a shipping yard, and he basically flipped it right around, and he went
hit the brakes and turn left is what he did.
Right, hit the brakes and turn left. So
yeah,
But
you know what?
Because this is really an internal matter for the Conservatives to resolve. You know, they're grassroots, they're politicos, insiders. They know what happened. Okay, so we know what happened. You're right. We had momentum. We could have won this election, and that basically, like Rick said, you know, basically detoured us off into another, you know, liberal minority government. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it many times on this show. It was theirs to lose, and they took it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to have Mr. O'Toole back on the show again. We've had him 3 times now, and let him give him a chance to talk to the firearms community and maybe explain what would actually happen, and maybe there was some confusion. You know, there was a lot of confusion. You know, when he said we're not reintroducing assault weapons in Canada, did he mean the ones that were prior to the OIC, or did he mean the ones from the OIC? So I mean, it would be a good chance for him to come on the show and maybe talk to the firearms community and let them know.
Clarify some stuff. You know, we need some clarification where he's going. You know, everybody formed an opinion. Come and clarify it for us.
Well, I've made the ask to Aaron O'Toole after the election, so it's out there. I don't expect any kind of response until like I said, after this report is revealed, and maybe not even then. I don't know. You know, it depends on the strategy. You know, I've been hearing rumblings that, you know, the Conservatives just may go gray on everybody, not just the NFA, but the gun community in total, leaving us completely without representation in Parliament. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because that means we'll be on our own, and that's not a good thing.
We need firearms owners across Canada to reach out to their MPs and be heard. We're a small percentage of the people out there that own firearms. Tell your friends that don't belong to any orgs, or just, you know, you tell your neighbor with a Cooey shotgun in his closet that he shoots rabbits with. Tell those people, you know what, it affects everybody. And the only way we're going to make a difference if we can get all firearms owners, firearms enthusiasts on board with this, not just our listeners here and stuff. You know, we're a small percentage of what's out there. So, you know, we need to spread the word, and the NFA is doing that right now. We're looking at other avenues to get the word out there, to reach people, you know, because folks, the place we got to make the difference is in Ottawa, and the only way we're going to do it is reach enough people to make the difference.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's the whole point of this show, is that, you know, that messaging channel that we've been using is in jeopardy, and it's just getting worse. I mean, we know that the Liberals have been, you know, before the election, they had a whole bunch of bills that are available to censor the internet. Okay, you know, they put it under the guise of Canadian content, but we all know that they're threatening the social media, you know, companies out there, saying, you guys toe the line or we will regulate. I don't think that's changed, right? So given the opportunity, they'll do that and they'll respond. But I think a lot of this, you know, censorship that we're seeing, you know, through Facebook and Twitter and everything else, you know, that's a reaction to the new, you know, Canadian zeitgeist that's out there. You know, this less freedom of expression, which is completely unconstitutional. I understand that these are private networks and private channels. I get that. Okay. But, you know, the Canadian culture is built on freedom of expression. It's entrenched in the Constitution. Unfortunately, Trudeau doesn't seem to understand that. He's always looking for a loophole, as he put it, you know, so that he can make the mob's will a reality. Well, that's not our Canadian democracy. I'm sorry.
I have no doubt that there's government influence in this anyway. I know. If you think the media, the Canadian media isn't influenced by the Liberals, by the government, well, you know what? They are. There's no doubt about it. You know what?
Absolutely.
Follow the money. Follow the money.
Exactly. They're funded. Now, you know, like getting back to our Facebook and our Facebook page getting taken down, I don't think that was a direct order from the government. I really think that, you know, it's Facebook just jumping the gun. They know eventually the government's going to start regulating, so they're trying to fall in line. Unfortunately, you know, our closed group was very active. You know, we had posts going up all the time. People were commenting, people were sharing. It was a very active group, and unfortunately now we're we're stuck rebuilding. So shortly we're going to post out on our main page a link to get into the closed group again. You're going to have to go through the whole process, go through the sign up, let me in, and let's build it back. Let's build it back. We'll do better this time.
We'll probably have to go through that cycle again, probably sooner than later. Okay, so inevitably, I've been watching the SECU committee, and they're inventing these new words to label us with, like ideologically motivated violent extremists or extremism. Okay, so we're not in that category per se yet. Okay, but it's a catch-all bucket. So once you're in there, then they can do all kinds of things with you, right? So they'll just tell the regulators, yep, they're one of these ideological motivated so-and-sos. You have to drop them from the internet. I can tell you one thing. I was in IT for 30 years. So when the big door closes someplace, the little one always opens up. So that's the nature of technology. So we will, as they zig, we will zag, and our messaging will be always out there. It may be on different platforms, and we're perfectly prepared to do that. But that is the reality of the new collectivist liberal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? They're not stopping. They're not going to stop the censorship till they try to shut it right down. But like Charles said, we're not going to let them. We're gonna find every avenue, every hole, every dip in the road that we can get our word out in. Like I say, but they have no intention. They have no intention of stopping this censorship. And I'm sure you're going to see bills in the near future if the government doesn't change. I'm sure you're going to see bills in the near future where they're going to bring more censorship upon us.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? You might see that even in this quarter. There's Trudeau signaled in December that they may have an opportunity to call another election in the spring. Ooh. So they may pull, internet censoring, handgun bans, resurrect, Bill 21 and go down that route again, to get the mob excited again with their pitchforks and fire, right? So
tactically smart to do it, really. The CPC is in a bit of a disarray, and exactly. It's smart on their part to do that, and that's where we need to get our word out farther and reach out and talk to potential candidates if that comes up. Talk to the MPs that are there, and don't stop. Guys, just don't stop. Keep letting them know that you're there, and that's how we make change, and that's how we make things are going to change, and hopefully we can get another party in there that appreciates us and that we can work with.
Yeah. So inevitably the party will change, right? So, and we need to be ready to align ourselves with that new government, and we're well entrenched in there anyway. I think it'll be an easy sell. We have many friends. Right now they're a little muted, waiting for the results of this report, like I said, from Mr. Cummings. But I can tell you right now that almost all the MPs I've talked to thus far, well, the Conservatives ones anyway, they are on our side. Unfortunately, I reached out to the bloc, right? They just don't respond. I get an official word back from some NDP, shadow public safety ministers and things like that. And they said, we're, our gun control, ideology is not changing. It's there for everybody to see. It aligns with the liberals, and Bob's your uncle, and we're not talking to you. So, I get it, right? And that's what lobbying's all about, right? So we identify our
Uncle Bob
and our enemies, and that's okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
All right. So, let's. I think we should wrap it up here for tonight. We do have some exciting news. NFA Talk is going to Las Vegas. We're going to SHOT Show. So, myself and Rick are going to be down there. We're gonna come on with a podcast. We're gonna talk about the latest and greatest things coming out. Hopefully, some of it's going to make it to Canada. Who knows with the way this government's acting and banning firearms and rejecting firearms. But we're going to go down there. We'll take some pictures, we'll do some videos, and it's going to be exciting. We'll have an actual live podcast from there, and then maybe we'll follow up when we get back and do a full take of it.
We'll be talking to a lot of groups like ours down there too, and maybe we'll be sharing some information with them, and maybe they can help us out with stuff, and maybe we can help them out with some stuff. there's a lot of lobby orgs down there at SHOT Show, and I'll be spending most of my time talking to them. We're also meeting with World Forum on shooting activities down there. There's a bunch of stuff coming down from Europe, lead bans, plastic bans, mercury bans, you name it. They're trying to ban it, and the marking, firearms marking. Charles has been working hard on it the last year, and I've been in it a bit, and the list is endless. So we're talking to some of those people and see where we stand with that stuff. It's we're taking hits from all directions, and that's why we need to talk to these people, meet with these people, and find out what's going on so we can get the information out to you people.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So until next time, thanks for tuning in. Take care.
Thanks for listening to this episode of NFA Talk. Like and follow the NFA on social media and sign up to become a member.